Hi, everyone. Welcome to Flock Talk. I'm Erin Morgan.
And I'm Walker Ball, and we work for the members of the Ontario Sheep Farmers.
Our guests today are Derk Maat from SciCorp and Matthew Rowe from Canadian Wool Council. SciCorp is a company developing sustainable biological technologies to improve wastewater treatment and environmental performance across the agricultural sector and beyond.
Welcome, everyone. So to get us started, can you guys start by introducing yourselves and telling our listeners a bit about SciCorp's products and the work you do in agriculture?
Yeah, sounds good. So I'm Matthew Rowe. I'm the CEO of the Campaign for Wool in Canada and its parent organization, the Canadian Wool Council. We've been working with SciCorp for a few years now on applications for their product in the wool industry, and we'll be able to speak to some of the great results that we've seen working with partners in Canada and around the world.
My name's Derk Maat. I'm the CEO and founder of SciCorp International. I'm a wastewater engineer with over 50 years of experience in the industry, designing, building, and optimizing wastewater and solid waste systems to improve environmental sustainability of sanitation across many different sectors, including agricultural, industrial sectors, and municipal sectors. And we've developed a technology that I would refer to as a smart, nature-based solution to improve wastewater treatment, improve waste treatment, in all of these sectors. And it's a very unique technology. And in the wool industry, it has very good applications for barn odor control, mortality composting, wool scouring, slaughterhouse wastewater treatment, biogas digester improvement and performance, lagoon treatment, and it can even be used in septic tanks.
Wow, amazing. So tell us a bit about how a sheep farmer who might be struggling with barn ammonia, barn odor, fly issues, tell us about how your product would support their needs.
Yes, in the barn, our product, when it's sprayed over the barn floor in diluted form, will stop the formation of ammonia and reduce ammonia levels in the barn by about 85%. We've seen this in the hog industry, where they have big issues of ammonia and hydrogen sulfide. And the same thing would happen in the sheep barns. And when we drop the ammonia levels and the H2S levels, we drop the odor level, and the flies are not attracted. So you see a significant reduction in fly population. We're not killing flies, but we're just reducing the attraction for the flies to the manure and waste systems. We've actually seen applications in the hog industry in open pens when the technology was applied and sprayed over the pen floors. The neighbors thought the farmer had sold off all his pigs because it was smell. So that's how effectively it works.
So just so I can clarify, you put it down before you put straw down. So you put it right onto the floor, or do you apply it to the straw, or both?
You would do both. Once you clean out the pens, I don't know how often they clean out the pens. You can spray the floor in diluted mixture, usually 50-to-1 dilution, and then periodically it can be applied on the straw and the manure as well, while the sheep are in the pens. It has no negative impact on sheep health or the environment in the sheep barn itself.
Wow.
Great, thank you.
This is going to be really handy.
I think that's one of the things that was exciting to us working with SciCorp is again that they work in a lot of different food industries because it is a natural and organic product. It can be used in food production. So it took away a lot of concerns. I think a lot of other solutions in this sphere aren't suitable for use with animals or food production or things like that. So that was a really exciting thing for us and our members, was that not only is it highly effective, but it's very safe to use.
Mm-hmm. Yes, when ammonia levels drop, the mortality rates of the sheep in the barn drop. We've seen that in the hog industry as well. And the product is actually used in salmon fish farms. We put it directly into the feed mixture, and it improves the environmental condition in ocean fish farms. And breaks down the fish manure as it hits the ocean bottom and improves water quality in the ocean. So it has many different applications, like Matthew indicated.
Wow. I'm actually just so shocked. I feel like, yeah, I know that this is for a larger scale, but I could see this really being niched down into so many other industries. This is really fascinating and I'm sure very helpful for producers. There's nothing like being in the field or, just having to swat away constantly. It'll just drive you mad. So, you mentioned that it could lower mortality rates, and that takes me to a question I have, which is for mortality composting. That can be challenging for sheep producers. How do SciCorp's products improve the speed and effectiveness of common approaches in composting?
In composting, the product is also very effective. Again, we recommend diluting it 50-1 and spraying it into the compost pile as you build it up. And as the dead animals are incorporated into the composting pile itself, the product will stimulate and accelerate the composting process very quickly. It will stop odors from the composting process and will reduce the time needed for mortality for dead sheep composting in the piles.
Do you have any information on how quickly, like how much it will reduce the composting time?
I would say 20 to 30%.
Wow.
From what you're doing now, it will reduce it, and it's very effective in composting operations.
And then when we're applying these products to the field, are there any added benefits?
When you say to the field, what do you mean exactly?
Like spreading the manure.
Yes, once you spread the manure, historically probably high odor levels associated with manure spreading. Mm-hmm. So when the manure is inoculated with this product, when you spread it, there will be dramatic reduction in odors from the manure by about 75-80%.
Wow.
And the interesting thing is there's very little capital investment required to implement this technology. It's very simple to apply, simple to use. It's really a tank and a pump and a spray wand, or that's all it's really required.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was certainly appealing. From our perspective, we know that producers are stretched in many different directions, and although they're looking for solutions, they don't want something that's going to come with specialized equipment, specialized training. You have to have special gloves or outfits to be able to handle it. I mean, this is because it's food safe, even in its concentrated form. It doesn't affect the skin. You don't need special gloves or equipment to handle it. So that can be really appealing. I mean, in some of the applications that we've seen, again, it can just be the SciCorp's engineers just sort of find the right spot in your process to be able to deliver the results you're looking for, and then you're kind of off to the races with really minimal investment.
Yes, we have a very benign safety data sheet. So any user asks for our SDS, and we provide it, and there's no special precautions required. Use and application.
Wow.
And the other thing I want to mention, for every application, we will provide the technical protocol on how to do it and work with the farmer on a weekly basis to support his activities, answer any questions he may have. And we do not charge for that technical support service. It's part of the basic. So they can pick up the phone and call us at any time.
That's
without
amazing.
Worrying about a bill.
So, Derk,
we're not lawyers.
So I'd just love to know, is there a cap of time limit on that? Like if someone was really needing a lot of help, do you have a time limit on how often someone can lean on you guys, or you're open there? You're open to helping throughout the process?
We're open to helping any farmer apply the product. And no question is a dumb question. It only becomes dumb if it asks 2 or 3 times the same.
That's fair. So when it comes to wool scouring, operations, how do your products help with the wastewater that comes from that?
Maybe
Very good. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Derk, I was going to steal some of your glory here because obviously this was an area we worked very closely with you on, and I just wanted to highlight again. We worked with Briggs and Little, which many people on the podcast will be familiar with. It's one of the oldest woolen mills in the country, a multi-generational operation in New Brunswick, and they had a wastewater lagoon and had used the product and saw, because they were having issues with smell. There was a crust of fat and oils, and the effluent was not great. to bluntly. So using the product in that lagoon, we saw an 85% reduction in sludge. There was a 90% reduction in odor, and the effluent quality was improved by 95%. So pretty startling numbers from a scouring application.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I just want to confirm that in scouring operations, whether it's a simple lagoon or an anaerobic reactor or an aerobic system, we will stimulate the activity of the beneficial bacteria in that system to break down all the fat, oil, and greases and stimulate the reduction of the dissolved organic compounds as well. It works very effectively. And at the same time, we shut down all the bacteria that generate odor.
So can you expand on that a little bit, Derk, about how the product actually works? So it doesn't sound like this is a chemical additive that kills everything. From your answer there, it sounds like you're feeding the beneficial bacteria and letting them do their job. Do I have that correct?
You have it correct. So this product is a plant-based extraction. So it's not a chemical formulation. So it's a natural microvitamin. It acts as a catalyst and vitamin. Does two things. It acts as a biosurfactant to break down the fat, oil, and grease very rapidly. And once it breaks that fat, oil, and grease down into smaller chain molecules, the bacteria then can eat that material, and we stimulate their metabolic rate to even break down the dissolved compounds even faster. And we've seen that happen in scouring applications. We've seen it happen in slaughterhouses. We've seen lagoons with 6 to 8 foot caps of grease. In 3 months, that cap is gone. And those lagoons were operating at 50% efficiency. And then we raised the efficiency with our product to over 90% while they were breaking down all the accumulated fat, oil, and grease. Wow. So the fat, oil, and grease acts, once we break it down into dissolved compounds, it acts as a catalyst, a rocket fuel for the bacteria.
Wow.
I'll just add that, Derk, if you're able to help speed up my metabolic rate, that would be appreciated.
Well, I take a capful once a day.
I should note it's not formulated for taste, though, although one of the people we worked with did demonstrate how safe it was by drinking it at a trade show. Again, it's not formulated for your palate, so it may not be dangerous, but it doesn't taste very good.
Right.
Good point by you. And actually, that does lead to my next question, which is about sort of certifications and the various requirements for this to be used in food and on farm. Can you tell us a little bit about sort of the certifications behind this product, the testing that's been done, just to sort of assure our members that if they use this product, it is safe to use in their farm?
Yes, it's been Eco-Logo certified by I think the Ontario, also the federal government. We also have a letter from the Ministry of Environment saying that this product does what SciCorp says it does. And we also have a letter from the Ministry of Environment that any wastewater system can use this product without having to get it approved by the Ministry of Environment themselves. And that's a very important letter because every wastewater plant in Ontario has to have an environmental certificate of authorization to operate. And the government has said they do not need to amend their ECA for the use of our product.
Wow.
We just got that last July, and that's a huge step because many wastewater facilities did not want to amend their ECA because the government would then review their whole operation and force them to upgrade their plant in many other areas. And plants have said, we don't want to go through that process. So if we can't get an exemption, we can't use your product. But we now have that exemption, and we can share that letter with any potential end user of the product.
That's great.
Now, I can piece it together and imagine how this would work. But, how do you assist with on-farm septic systems, Derk?
For a septic system, it will operate in the same way. It will break down the top layer of sludge in the septic tank and the bottom layer of sludge, and it will clean out the drain field. Many septic systems will stop working because the drain field piping gets plugged, and our product will clean that right out and restore the system like it was just installed yesterday. So this works for industrial applications, agricultural application, and residential applications. We're probably serving 20 to 30,000 households in Ontario today with septic tank treatment.
Amazing. I'm going to get some for my cottage septic tank. That was just an issue today where I was chatting with my mom and she said, you're going to have to start taking this over. And I said, no. So this is great. This is coming at a perfect time.
Well, we'll send you a box.
Yeah, please do. And a hazmat suit.
For septic tanks, the treatment protocol is 100 mils poured down your toilet once a month.
Oh, wow.
Well, that doesn't sound too difficult.
That's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. So, Derk, in terms of long-term sustainability, what are the benefits of being proactive about waste management rather than reactive?
Well, we always like to go to the source of the problem and solve it at the biological level, because that's where many problems originate. And by treating the source and coming up with proper protocol, we improve the sustainability of the farm operation and the wastewater system, and we avoid the need for capital investment and capital expansion of existing treatment facilities. Once a plant uses our product, it typically has enhanced capacity to take 30% more flow without having to spend any money on equipment, pipes, or tanks. So in addition, we haven't talked about it, but in anaerobic digesters, if the slaughterhouse or the scouring facility has a digester, we will stimulate the gas production in the digester, produce more renewable natural gas, RNG, increase the capacity of that digester, and improve the performance efficiency. So there are less solids coming out of the digester that have to be dealt with in the second stage.
Wow. How do waste management practices tie into wool quality and overall farm stewardship?
Again, there's, depending on your operation, will depend on how you use the product. So, some scourers that we're talking to, obviously they extract the lanolin early on, so they don't want the product in the system early because they want to get the lanolin out first, and then later they introduce it when in their digesters and those sorts of applications. So I think again, what's really important is give SciCorp a call and find the solution that works best for your particular operation, so that there's no surprises and you get the result that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, we have a process where we will engage in a discussion with the farm operator or the slaughterhouse or the wool mill, and we will ask them what are their problems, what are their challenges. We have a questionnaire that addresses all of that, and with that questionnaire, we ask for a process diagram of their wastewater system or their composting system. And once we have that information, we then develop a technical proposal for consideration that addresses all their concerns and states how we will improve the performance and the operation of the facility that we're looking at. And then we enter into a 3-month demonstration period with the facility owner. And during that time, we'll have weekly Zoom calls at no charge to the facility owner to see how it's going. And at the end of the 3-month trial, we will generate a performance report comparing the results in the 3-month period to what happened before at the facility. So then the facility manager can make a final decision whether he wants to proceed on a continuous basis.
This
Wow.
is so fabulous that, I mean, you're like the support that's offered here is huge. I think a lot of, the barrier to entry for so many producers is the unknown or fearing that they're going to have to learn a new product and learn a new system and process. And the fact that you guys are not only available for support when they opt in, but also offering a trial period and providing that data that's backed up, it just sets the bar really high. I think that's huge.
Yes, we believe we have a very unique technology, but we support that with our technical team. So the value add of the uniqueness of the product, the innovation of the product, and the technical support puts us head and shoulders above many other corporations.
Mm-hmm. I would say so. For someone just starting to improve waste and odor management, what's the first step you recommend, and how can they tell if it's working?
Well, the first step, if it's a farm that has barns, they can start by spraying their barns with the product, as I said earlier, in a 50-to-1 dilution. So do a spray application. If they have a compost pile, we'll recommend a protocol for how much to add to the composting process. If they have septic tanks, we'll tell them how to treat their septic tanks. And in their slaughterhouse effluent, it's a step-by-step process to use the product. And for a slaughterhouse wastewater plant or digester, we'll do a technical proposal. But as we engage, we can start with simple spraying the product in the barn and move step by step into a broader application, giving the facility manager the full confidence in the product.
That's amazing. Thanks, Derk. And so I'm sold. Where do I get your product?
Well, we manufacture in Mississauga, Ontario, and we ship into 42 countries around the world.
Wow. And do you go, if I wanted to buy the product, do I go on your website and buy it from you directly, or are you selling through retailers?
No, you would buy it from us directly, and then we would enter into an arrangement with you for delivery of the product.
Amazing. So is it SciCorp.com?
SciCorp.net.
.net. Perfect. Well, we will put that information in our show notes. And we really appreciate you joining us today to share all of the information about your product.
Yes, when you go to the website, there's a button you can click on, and the farmer or the facility operator can request a Zoom call to learn more about the product. So we are very reactive and responsive to every inquiry that comes.
That's fantastic. Yeah, well, we hope our producers will take you up on that and see how your product works on their farm.
Okay, well, I'm excited about getting involved in this industry, and we think it has a huge potential.
Yeah, we think so too. Thanks so much for your time, Derk, and thanks for joining us, Matthew.
Oh, always a pleasure, Aaron.
And thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode of Flock Talk, please subscribe through your podcast app to receive alerts to our future episodes. And please share our podcast with your friends.
For more Ontario sheep farmers content, follow us on social media at Ontario Sheep Farmers on Instagram and Facebook, and visit our website, ontariosheep.org.